Hi guys, James here at Miss Soul Car Finance. Just wanted to whet your appetite with some potential investments in Miss Soul Car Finance and some comparisons with other options or other markets. We all know things like gold, has been flying. It's moved at 23 points at times, but it steadies out about between 7 and 15%. Property, 5 to 10%. Stocks and shares, 8 to 11%. Bonds, 5 to 7%. And litigation funding, which seems to be a big winner there, 15 to 40% returns. Miss Soul Car Finance returns working on 120 to 180%. The reason we can do such amazing returns is we actually own the whole process from cradle to grave. So we've got the marketing company, the processing, the legal, and all the payouts, etc. So everything's in-house, and it's literally the only way you can, afford to pay out the big returns, because you're not paying 40% to one party, 40% to another, and 40% to another, etc., and just blowing all the money out the deal. So if you're looking to get involved in, any type of investment, and we have got this £25,000 profile, we've used it before with PPI, etc., and we've already got some, people that we know hooked into that at the 25,000. The returns are phenomenal. It's so simple. We do all the hard work. We've already got, the market share. We've got all the investments already been made by ourselves. To give you a wee idea of quick options, keep it simple. £100 drawdown. So what you're doing, you're really purchasing a deal for £100, and for that you get 250 claims. This is for your £25,000 with returns of 20% of the fees. Now, on average, we're probably looking about 3,600 per claim and about £1,000 in fees per claim. So again, 20% of that returned. The other option, which gives you, far higher return at 40%, is 250 drawdown, and for that you will get returned 40% on the claim. So it's really just to see what your appetite is, what sort of returns you're looking for, and what model best suits yourself, because everybody's different. We've been dealing in 100 million, 200 million, 500 million budgets, and working through some funding and stuff like that for other individuals. And realistically, it's just time to take the process and simplify it and give others the opportunity, rather than some of the investors that are getting huge returns on it. Give normal business people or even funders or IFAs the opportunity to package something up and present it to their clients or whatever. What's required from us, obviously, to set up, we've got the marketing company, we've got all the 25-seat call centre, we've then got our own in-house law firm and own in-house CMC. So realistically, get the full package set up. And as you can imagine yourself, if you were looking to do this, we reckon you'd probably be about a year by the time you're going through FCA and all the other bits and pieces and all the spec and the funders, etc. We reckon you'd probably be somewhere in £1 million, and at least a year, we would think, from standing start to get that all in place and all sort of regulated, etc., if at all, if you can get that done. So we've got all that, the technology, the data, clear understanding of the regulation. Now, you all know how that regulation is changing. It's critical that the company that's involved fully understands what's required and what the legislation is at that point, and what the best way to get the return on the investment is. Miss Soul Car Finance, people know us. We've been in the market for the last 5 years. We bought Miss Soul Car Finance about 10 years ago, and we started buying data to run into the claims market. So that was a huge investment that we've seen, and probably in the last 10 years it's cost us probably around about £1 million to get our database fully installed and running and stuff like that. So we invested heavily in the databases. Obviously all the sites, Miss Soul Car Finance, Audi PCP claims, BMW, Jaguar, Land Rover, Mercedes, etc. We own all these sites and have operated them for the last number of years. All our marketing, so we're probably more experienced than anybody in the market when it comes to the research. I've got 35 years experience in motor trade and finance, and owned and ran my own dealerships, etc. as well. So we'll get a fair amount of background. Again, just going back on to this is a key one. And if you look at anybody who's looking for investment, or if you're running your business, I bet if you're running your business, you're not getting 120% return or 180. Very few people are. You might be operating somewhere about 20% net or whatever. This is very simple because you buy the case, we package a case, you get a full report, it's full KPIs, everything's transparent, you know exactly where you're at and when the money's getting paid out and what the targets are, etc. For the last number of years, we've self-funded it, which is a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but it just means that I've got skin in the game. We've got over £500,000 invested, so we've been self-funding this, which really, from an investor's point of view, gives you security that the person that's running it and involved in it has got skin in the game, and they're committed to the end game, not just making money now, but the end game. I have a 5-year plan. The business is a 5-year plan to work right the way through all the payouts and the claims and all the hard work that's going to go with it. So we're prepared for that, and we're well prepared and G'd up to attack that. On last week's performance, we would have been paying an investor back £353,000 in 1 week. And this is the sort of stuff I really want to make clear. Anybody who's looking at investments, property, this and that, should definitely have a chat with us. Anybody looking for any type of investment from the point of view of whether it be college fees, uni fees, and investment where you're going to get the returns on it, this is probably the type of perfect investment. We're all going for the redress. We knew all the stuff that's going on, but redress and DCA is pretty guaranteed at this point. So we're happy to move forward on that basis. This is just a quick example. We've included this in the sort of pitch. This is just a quick example, £100 per claim, and for that you will get 250 claims, so you're £25,000, you get that £25,000 back, and then you get £45,000 profit. So these are all produced on the claims calculators that we've got, and all the inside track that we have at the moment through FCA and every other route, the court route, the legal route, etc. So we do have a fairly good grasp on where we're heading and the potentials, etc. So these won't be far off the mark. Now, another option here, £250, so you can actually have a £250 drawdown. We then assign the claim to yourself, we run the whole claim for you, and at the end of it, you get your £25,000 back, and then 40% of all the fees. Now, bear in mind, if redress and then obviously the hidden commissions is all involved together, and the DCA, then these could substantially increase. So they could see some huge returns on that investment. As I say, the main thing, this poor guy here has been grafting for 5 years, put heart and soul and a lot of money into it, and what I can say, I couldn't be happier in the position that we're in just now. Sometimes when you're working, you've got a vision, and can you imagine 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when nobody else knew about Missile Car Finance, starting that off and putting £100,000 into it and more and more and more. Takes maybe a lot of bottle and a lot of belief, and it's come to fruition. We're at that point now where we're getting redress, and without a doubt, we're all going to make millions out of the market. But we've put 5 years work into it, £500,000, and then a further £1 million into database. So a lot of commitment into that. But as you can see, fully committed, to what we're doing. So the reality is, if you want to come and join us, or even just speak to us, I don't believe you can get any higher returns than the Missile Car Finance option of that market. Very similar to PPI. There's some huge players in it, maybe getting a wee bit greedy with stuff and commanding the market, etc. And I just think it's time for normal individuals, normal businesses, normal people to maybe get the opportunity to invest, get full KPIs, reports, etc., and a healthy return on it. As I say, it's full transparency. This 120% and 180, full transparency. You get your portal, your online portal, you get KPIs, you get your stats, you get your monthly status of your claim, estimated claim values, and it's all direct from our legal in-house CRM. So everything's absolutely moving lovely, and I can't wait for people to get involved in it and have a wee chat with us. So to all extents, if you want to give us a wee call, contact us, even just message us, give us a wee phone, and we'll run through all the information with you. But thank you so much for your time, and the returns are fantastic. Thanks again.